in your long and tiring MBA admissions process to Harvard, Stanford, MIT, ISB, INSEAD, and other top international business schools across the world, the MBA interview is the final hurdle to cross. The good news is that an MBA interview is not the most important component of your application, and we'll explain why we say that. The bad news is that it still has the potential to get you rejected. Watch the full video to understand the importance of MBA interviews, common questions, and some preparation tips to make sure you don't mess up in the final stage. Think about all the information you have submitted to your dream universities in the initial stages. Your test scores for GMAT, GRE, TOEFL, IELTS, academic transcripts, a resume, recommendations, and the all-important MBA essays. To a large extent, all this has helped the admission officer form a general perception of how capable you've been in your pre-MBA life. As a general rule, most admission committees believe that a candidate's past performance is indicative of how successful they'll be in the future. This is why we say that a short 30-minute interview is not the most important component in the overall application. The admissions team has already reviewed your submitted application and thinks you have the potential to join their elite program. Having said that, the B school would still want to see how you present yourself in person and not just on paper. This is where many candidates lose the plot. We've had several cases of strong candidates who worked with MBA Crystal Ball for their MBA essays. But after getting interview invites from their dream universities, we never heard back from them. Some got back the next year with a confession. They admitted that they took it easy after getting an interview call. They assumed that their communication skills will impress the admission officers. They skipped preparing for the interview and ended up paying a heavy price for it, in the form of a lost year. The important message here is that an MBA interview is not just about communication skills. Let's see what else it covers. Here are some common MBA interview questions that we've seen almost all the top B schools asking. Most MBA interviewers will start off with some icebreakers, revolving around the candidate's profile, work experience, and goals. Often the MBA interviewer would also ask behavioral or situational questions such as these. Some interviewers may also ask questions that test certain specific skills, such as problem solving, analytical ability, or mental arithmetic. This could include case-based questions, guesstimation questions, and brain teasers. As the interview progresses, the interviewer may get into topics that have not been covered in the essays or the rest of the application, or drill deeper into aspects such as the candidate's career goals, if they seem too generic, too specific, or simply impractical. It's unusual for international MBA interviews to turn into stress interviews, but we've seen some such cases too. The primary focus is on evaluating fit between the candidate and the program. We'll share a link in the description below to a big repository of MBA interview questions and answer tips shared by successful MBA students who've cracked into the best universities in the world. The list includes the top business schools in USA, Canada, UK, Europe, and India. Let's talk about the types of MBA interviews. Your MBA interview may be in person, on the phone, or over Skype. Given the option, we'd suggest choosing the in-person interview. It's the best way to make an impact, and much better than relying on technology. You may also have a choice between an admission officer or alumni to conduct the interview. In this case, choose the admission officer. They're far more experienced in judging good candidates. For in-person and Skype interviews, dress formally and don't go overboard with accessories. When you're using a camera, focus on the sound quality and lighting. Also make sure there's nothing in the background that distracts the interviewer. Find a better spot to keep your dirty laundry and porn collection. Do not look at notes during an interview. It shows a lack of preparation and confidence. Instead, make sure you do all the heavy lifting before you walk into an interview. Let's talk a little about how you can prepare for MBA interviews. Here's an MBA interview preparation strategy you can follow to ensure that you're all set to knock the interviewer's socks off. Step 1 is to get a partner in crime. Find a friend, relative, or colleague who's familiar with MBA interviews, someone who can play the devil's advocate and is mature enough to go beyond giving you biased or sugar-coated feedback. Step 2 is to do your independent homework. Share your MBA application with your friend and allow her a few days to review the entire application thoroughly. Don't speak to her and explain your reasoning at this stage. Allow her to build a picture based on whatever she sees on paper, or her laptop if she is environmentally friendly like us. Simultaneously think about specific questions that you're expecting from the interviewer, based on 3 areas. Whatever you've written in your application essays and resume, school-specific topics, general queries. Step 3 would be to have the first mock interview based on school and application-specific questions. Ask your friend to do a little research on your target program. Depending on her enthusiasm, here are a few areas for both of you to build up the knowledge base and raise the level of awareness. Ask your friend to build a personalized list of queries based on your profile and essays. Then go ahead and have the first mock interview. From our experience, a thoroughly researched and well-structured interview can be wrapped up in an hour and a half, including feedback. Step 4 would be to have the second mock interview based on general questions. But before you do that, take some time off. No, don't pack off your bags and head off to Paris. Just a day's break should be good enough to recharge your batteries. You can work together with your friend to come up with a list of commonly asked queries. You'll find plenty of these on the MBA Crystal Ball website. You can now have the second mock interview. This can be completed in an hour. Set aside some time for feedback and self-analysis. This is the one where you can also touch upon business cases and guesstimation questions, though it's more common for MBA jobs in consulting rather than in MBA admissions. So be aware of how it works, so you're not caught off guard. Considering that your friend and you are doing this for the first time, the interview there'll be some unfinished business. The questions may not be all encompassing. The feedback may not be top-notch. The overall experience may not be exactly what you'll get when you are face-to-face or phone-to-phone with your interviewer. But your preparation will still help you boost your confidence, and you'll know how to address a majority of the questions that come your way. Here's a word of caution. Given the fact that there are no absolute right or wrong answers, it's pretty common for applicants to think that they've done well in the interview, only to hear the bad news a few days later. So don't be overconfident and assume that you've cracked the secret code just because you have a superset of MBA interview questions. Keep in mind that the content, credibility, and presentation of the answers to these questions are more important than the questions themselves. If you cannot find that knowledgeable and trustworthy friend to help, send us an email. MBA Crystal Ball offers mock interviews to help you sail through the final stage. Good luck.